Hey, hi guys. Now what we'll try to learn in this video is how we can loop through items in a tuple. Yeah. So let me just format it. So loop tuple items. So usually looping through tuple items in Python refers to iterating, means going through one item at a time, each item at a time in a tuple sequentially. Now, in Python, we can loop through items in a tuple through various ways. Either you can do it through for loop or through while loop. Yeah. Although it requires additional handling of the loop control variable explicitly. That is an index. Yeah. So we'll check all these methods one by one. So the first method that we are looking at is looping tuple items using for loop. Yeah. Now, as we know, a for loop in Python is used to iterate over a sequence like list, tuple, or dictionary, whatever it may be, or any other iterable object. It allows you to execute a block of code repeatedly for each item in the sequence. Now, in a for loop, you can access each item in a sequence using variable, allowing you to perform operations or logic based on those items or create an expression out of those items. Yeah. We can loop through tuple items using for loop by iterating over each item in the tuple. Yeah. Usually the syntax for the same is the same for loops syntax that we had earlier. So for item in tuple, and then you have to give the code that will execute. Yes. Now let's quickly see an example how it works. Let me take you through an example. So suppose I have this tuple 1. Yeah. How I'll go is for every item in tuple 1, print the item. Yeah. So it will print on each line. So you can see it has taken individual item, it has printed it on each line. Yeah. So this is how the for loop works in tuple. Yeah, pretty simple, right? Same way, if you have to use while loop, now you need to be very careful while using while loop. Yeah, the for loop was pretty simple. Now let's looping the tuple items using while loop. Yes, let me make it bold. Let me make this also bold. Looks nice. Yes. Now in while loop, It specifically is used to repeatedly execute a block of code as long as specified condition evaluates to true. Yeah. So while loop will require a conditional exit from the loop. So we can loop through tuple items while loop by initializing an index variable first. And based on that index, you need to move out of the loop when it reaches the last index. Yeah. Now, what you need to note in this is an index variable is used within the loop to keep track of current position or index in a sequence. So such as tuple or an array. Usually, this variable is initialized before the loop and updated within the loop. You need to remember that. Yeah. So the variable that we'll create will initialize within outside the loop and it will keep on updating within the loop. So let's see the syntax first and then we'll quickly jump onto the example. So it will have while condition. Yes, it will have a variable as well. So it will have a variable which will be an index which will initialize to certain number. Yeah. How many loops you want to move this particular item to. Then you will have your code here. Code which will execute. That's pretty simple. So let's understand with the help of the same example that we had earlier. So I have this tuple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. And I want to loop through it. So what I'll do is, since I'll be using while loop here, I have to first give a variable. Suppose I give it as an index that is 0. I want to start it from index 0. Yeah. Now what I'm doing is from index, while the index is less than length of the tuple 1. So I will show you what length tuple 1 gives you the output as. So it gives you an output of 5, which is the length of the, because there are 5 items. So if I had 6 items here, it would have given me, oh, sorry. It would have given me the length as 6. Yeah. And it will always stop at 6 minus 1 because we are starting from 0th index and the last index would be always the length of index minus 1. So this will be 6 minus 1. Then what I'm doing is I'm printing each value within the tuple with the index number. So if you remember, if we can access tuple any value by specifying the index number within it. So if I specify the index number within it, it will give me the tuple1. Okay, not length. I'm sorry. Tuple1 4. So this is 5. Yes. So what I'm doing is I am making this change every time it loops through the while loop and I am increasing the index number by 1. This index number by 1 is similar to index equal to index plus 1. Yes, you need to remember this. Yeah. So I am incrementing index every time the loop moves here. So once it has reached the maximum limit as per the length, the while loop will end. So the output here, we can see it loops through individual item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it prints it on different lines. Yes. So this is how while loop can be used to go through the index. Yeah. Now I have a different method. Yeah. You can use for loop as well, but this time using the index, how we can loop through the item. So looping tuple items using the index value. So the index. Yeah. So an index is a numeric value. You know that it starts from 0 and ends at the length of the string -1. Yeah. So we can loop through the tuple items using the index by iterating over range of indices. Yeah, corresponding to the length of the tuple. As we have said, length of the tuple, which we have used in while loop. Yeah, and we'll access individual item. Let's again quickly jump to an example. So we'll use the same example. We'll use the for loop this time because indices can be used with for loop. So suppose I have this loop tuple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what I have to do is I have to specify the range. Now, in order to specify the range, I have to first store that. So indices equals to range length of tuple. Yes. So I have specified the range here. Yeah. And I'm using the index in indices. Yeah. So what does range length of tuple gives? Let me show you that as well so that you'll get an understanding. Can see the range gives me this way 0 to 6. Yeah. And it is taking index. This index is incrementing from 0 to 6. So 6 minus 1. You know the ending index is always -1. So it will go to from 0 to the 5th index. Over here, it is the 4th index. So let's run this once again. Yeah. So you find what range gives. What I can do is I can also print the same code by just eradicating the storing of variable because it consumes memory. I will directly put the formula here. I'll remove this. Yeah? It will still give me the same output. See this? So this is how you can loop through tuple items using the for loop or while loop or using the index of each item through a range. Yeah. Hope you understood this concept of looping through tuple items. Hope you like this video. Do like, share this video with your colleagues who want to learn Python. Who do comment on this video if you have any views or if you have more information which you want to share with your colleagues who are watching this video. And yeah, do not forget to subscribe to my channel in order to get such informative videos directly to your inbox. Thank you so much.